Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, it's lunchtime. I've got about 19 minutes to go before I have to clock back in. So, yeah, I just finished eating a little bit of lunch. You know, the dollar burritos, those dollar foot-long El Monterrey burritos, chimichangas, and 2 little egg rolls, if you will. For altogether, along with a can of Arizona tea. It's not too bad, for the price. But I thought I'd come out here and I want to do something. I want to do a fan recommendation. It's for a story series, a comic series that you can, sort of a story series, webcomic series, a little fan project that somebody I talked about and recommended before, called MrIneternetman on DeviantArt, has been doing. In the little story series or comic series that I want to recommend is called Mystic Makeover. Now, I mentioned this briefly when I was doing my recommendation on MrIneternetman, and what Mystic Makeover is a series of short to long, multi-part comic strips that all center around one story. So, well, basically what they are is short to long, like I said, multi-part comic strips, like comic books, if you will, web comics, that center around the story that that edition of the Mystic Makeover is based on. Now, Mystic Makeover, from what MrIneternetman has done, you can look up the information on his DeviantArt page. Mystic Makeover basically follows the adventures, or the mischievous adventures of a ordinary girl, college-bound girl, or college student, I guess you could say, a young adult girl called Veronica. And one day, Veronica ends up getting this lipstick called the Nightshade delivered to her doorstep, and she's not sure who it's from, what it's about. And when she reads up on it and thinks, okay, it's probably a joke or something like that, and she applies it to her lips thinking, okay, it's just a joke, it's some kind of regular lipstick that they just want to hype up. As soon as she applies it, she ends up turning into a new character. She ends up becoming what is known as her alter ego, Demonica. And Demonica basically is a character that, if you know about that if you follow MrIneternetman on DeviantArt, Demonica is basically a mischievous imp, like demon girl, but a fun-loving one. Not cruel, not mean, but fun-loving, mischievous kind of imp, if you will, kind of demon girl imp. She's all white, really white, color white, if you will, purple hair, light purple eyeshadow, lipstick, pointy ears, black tail. She's got black outfit that kind of, I guess, is part of her body. The black, like, long sleeve gloves, if you will. So that's basically what her outfit is. Now, what's unique about what Veronica discovers when she transitions into Demonica is, one, she quickly sees what she's become, and she looks over the instructions, because yes, the Nightshade thing came with instructions explaining what she now possesses. And I guess being a I guess you could say a smart girl, a nerd girl, if you will, a book girl, a bookworm, or whatever, or a fast learner, if you will, quickly understands as soon as she reads that, like, oh, I see what this is about. I see what this is about now. I see what they're saying that this power that I have can do. And basically, that starts her new life and her new mischievous adventures, because she ends up testing it out for the first time, because she finds that like she finds out basically that the powers allow her to shapeshift into anyone or anything. It allows her to shapeshift into anyone or anything. And basically, she ends up testing it out the first time, and she develops a new alter ego in the process that she calls Monica. And Monica is basically a sultry alter ego of both Demonica and Veronica that has long purple hair that goes over her eye, kind of luscious lips, if you will, earrings, a red dress. Hold on for a sec. Let me pause this. Okay, but like I said, this new alter ego that she develops by doing this, like I said, has long purple hair that goes over her eye, partially goes over her eye. She has luscious red lips, purple eyeshadow, of course, a red, almost ball gown, kind of like gown that you would find you'd see a woman wear at a ball or an event. And she becomes more seductive, more sultry in a way. So basically what the powers allow Veronica to do is not only become this new mischievous alter ego of hers, Demonica, and then maybe even another alter ego in the process called Monica, a more sultry one, but it allows her to finally open up. It allows her to finally, break the chains of being kind of sheltered, a little shy and all that, and it allows her to let out her inner fantasies. It allows her to, just do things that she normally wouldn't do as herself. And I think it's pretty good. I really like it. And what MrIneternetman has done with this is he's just ran with it for the past several years. I think he started it back, in 2014 maybe? I can't really recall. But he's just kept running with it and running with it for years. Sometimes he'll take a hiatus like anybody would. But when he comes back sometimes unexpectedly, and sometimes it'll just be like with a little 1-2 page, maybe a little comic of Mystic Makeover, maybe a 1-page deal, 3-page, 4-page. And sometimes I've noticed that he comes back in a big way, because sometimes he'll do a Mystic Makeover story that will run for so many pages, it takes him almost a week or two to complete it. Like currently, right now, he has a new story going on, and it's basically a 22-page story. And it's not just a Mystic Makeover series, although it involves the starring character of it, Demonica. Now, basically, as we see throughout a lot of the comics, a lot of the short to long multi-page stories that center around the Mystic Makeover series, we notice that there's a lot of things that he puts Demonica, Veronica through. And he always finds and what's unique about the series is the character herself, Veronica, could be starting it out, and she could be like, you know what, it's raining, like it might rain here, So she, for one, this one story where Veronica is looking outside thinking, okay, it's raining, it's too dreary to go out and have any fun or find a party or something like that. And then she realizes, oh yeah, I don't have to worry about that. She's like, oh yeah, I don't have to worry about that, because I can have a party inside in my own house and not be bored. And she basically by realizing that, she applies the nightshade lipstick and becomes Demonica. And as she keeps and basically, it's during the early parts, some of the first couple of stories and stuff, that you notice she's discovering what these powers can do. She's discovering that not only can she, morph, shapeshift into other people, other women, other alter egos, but she can also turn into other things. There have been several Mystic Makeover stories that I've read myself, where basically, and that was a dog back there with its owner, but there have been several Mystic Makeover series that I have read and looked at myself, to where she will test out her powers to see exactly what else she can do besides turning into other people. Sometimes she'll turn into other things. Like one of the first stories that she did after, I guess you can say, the origin story, is she tested out her ability to shapeshift into different inanimate things. Like she shapeshifted into a truck, into a car, into balloon, into a car, into a rocket, stuff like that. And she kind of repeats that sometimes several stories later, but basically these stories center around her having a little bit of fun, with her powers, wondering, okay, what else can I do? What else could I be? Like there's one story that was written and created where it's entitled Mystic Makeover, What Should I Be Today? And she basically goes through various shapes and stuff, and it's really, really fun to read and look at, because it's like, wow, she's, basically, because in a way, it's not just a different personality that's taking over. It's Veronica's personality, just uncaged, unleashed when she becomes Demonica, and she's able to do things normally she wouldn't be able to do if she was human. One of the things that she discovers, and we discover as viewers, later on, is she can also twin herself. She can also clone herself. In other words, she can actually split herself into multiple versions of herself, multiple clones. She can do that. And on top of that, not only can she change herself, not only can she split herself into multiple clones, but she can also have those clones, shapeshift or morph into different women, into different personalities. They don't have to all look alike. They can look completely different. And what's fun about it in this story as well is, even though it's Demonica Veronica controlling the whole scenario, her power enables her to make it look like she's just talking to two completely different people who just happen to be on the same wavelength, in a sense. It's like, she's able, her powers enable her to do that. And what's even more fun, it is fun reading these, and it's intriguing as well, but what's even more interesting is how it's Demonica, it's Veronica in a Demonica form with the powers uncaged and unleashed. It's always fun because you got to read between the lines a little bit, but it's kind of fun to see how she acknowledges through her multiple personalities or multiple alter egos, how she's able to come up with certain things. Like there was a recent one like a couple months ago called Two of a Kind, and basically she kind of gets bored as Veronica. It starts out with Veronica kind of being bored, thinking what else she can do, what she can come up with. And she decides to basically turn into Demonica, kind of jump off her bed, basically by jumping off, splat into a puddle, or kind of splat on the, kind of jump onto the ground, kind of smoosh herself when she's going down, basically melt into basically a formless kind of goo, slime kind of goo, And then what she does is she basically starts twisting that gooey form that she's become into almost a spiral tower, into a little spiral tower. But as she does that, it starts changing into it starts adding a different color. So instead of being all black, now you have black and you have red. And what's interesting about that is the end result is she ends up splitting into two different personalities, into two different characters. One in a she-devil outfit and one in a Catwoman outfit. A 1992 Catwoman outfit, if you catch my drift. So, like I said, 1992 Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman outfit, if you catch my drift. So anyway, long story short, in addition to the story, MrIneternetman adds on an addition to the story, a bonus feature, if you will, a bonus edition, where at the end of the bonus edition, both acknowledge, I think it's in the first one, but also mostly it's in the second one, the second part of it, that both the alter egos of Demonica, the twins, if you will, now kind of both acknowledge how Veronica has come up with them. How Veronica has a certain mindset, has to have a certain mindset deep, kind of hidden deep within to come up with them. And what's intriguing about that, again, if you read between the lines, it's not just them on their own talking about that. It's Veronica it's Demonica, basically Veronica unleashed, if you will, through Demonica's powers, saying that to herself. Like basically she's saying, I must have some kind of a hidden mindset. I must have some kind of hidden desire or something like that to come up with this and all that. So yeah, it's it's really, this series, this Mystic Makeover series, it's just really fun to get into, because there's a lot of us that do these fusion, shape-shifting, transformation stories on paper, but yet you have almost a public display of it in comic form, and you have a main character. You have a main character as the centerpiece of the whole thing. You have a main character that is like the centerpiece of the whole thing, and I think that's what really keeps it weighed down. It really keeps it weighed down. And what's intriguing about it is MrIneternetman, no matter whether he's just using Demonica or having Demonica star in her Mystic Makeover series, or she's having a crossover with other characters from other users, like right now, as I mentioned, he's working on a 22-page story with featuring the Demonica character and another character. And in this story, it's actually the first time that we've ever seen Demonica go through a new transformation, as far as I know, and that is a clothes transformation. In other words, she is actually becoming, and actually, basically, a little bit of spoilers, Demonica actually is, like I said, being a little mischiefy, wants to have a little fun with her friend, decides to replace her friend's clothes, her friend's outfit, decides to replace her friend's outfit by becoming the outfit herself. So yeah, for anybody that's read a story with the Demonica character, this is kind of like a first-time deal, because she's never really done a clothes transformation. She's never turned into other people's outfits or clothes. So this is really a first. Really a first as far as that character is concerned. So overall, though, I do recommend, if you're on DeviantArt, even if you don't want to subscribe to, you don't have to really subscribe, but you have to have a certain option turned on or turned off, like if a certain content option turned off, I think, to be able to see the whole picture, if you will. But overall, even if you don't subscribe to Mr. Internet Man, I do recommend checking out Mystic Makeover and even some of his other stories, but really check out Mystic Makeover, and also check out the new one he's got going on right now called Lilith and Demonica Fun and Games. So definitely check those out when you get a chance. But that is basically my webcomic, I guess you could say, recommendation, the Mystic Makeover series on DeviantArt by Mr. Internet Man. Check it out. I'll talk to you all later. I gotta get back to work. Comment if you like.